allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Eldred is on his way. That's he's going to be late to start without him. So everybody else is here, present. So we'll start with the superintendent's report.
I'm going to begin tonight with congratulations to Owen Anderson. Owen is a senior and has been selected for this year's Section 9 Area All-State Symphonic Band. He has earned an A+ and 98 on his NISMA Level 6 All-State Trombone solo back in May. There were 5 counties he competed in, and he's ranked 3rd out of all the trombone players. And the Area All-State Festival is scheduled for November 19th and 20th at the Newburgh Free Academy, and we wish Owen well. Congratulations, Owen. I've asked the principals to give out the AOK Awards this evening. Michael, would you like to begin?
Love to. Thank you, Dr. Morgano.
Hold on, Michael. Hold on 1 minute. Just make a... Amador's here, Lisa. Okay. All present. Sorry, Michael. Go ahead.
So good evening, everyone. The AOK Award is an initiative that Dr. Morgano started, I believe, about a year or 2 ago. And it's really just when we witness an act of kindness within Mackenzie Elementary School, we want to document it, and then we want to recognize those students that perform that act of kindness. So sitting in front of you, at least from the board today, and in front of me, and are some of my students our students at Mackenzie Elementary School that perform those acts of kindness. So I'd first like to start out with Josiah Perez. Jojo, how are you, buddy? Hold on 1 second, bud. All right. So I put Josiah in for an award, an act of kindness. Josiah saw that a new student didn't know where the bathroom was. It was literally about the 2nd or 3rd day of school. He was able to not only point to the bathroom, but also walk the young lady to the bathroom so she knew where it was and how to get back to the cafeteria. I thought it was wonderful, and so we wanted to recognize him here tonight. He's here with his brothers and sisters and his mom and dad, and so if we could just give a round of applause to Jojo, that would be great. So the great thing about working in an elementary school is a lot of times once you start one thing, it kind of is like a fire and it just kind of catches. So we have some other acts of kindness here. And the next person I'd like to recognize would be Carter Mendes. Carter Mendes was put in by Miss Weiss and Mrs. Martell, and Carter has just been a great friend and classmate, helping classmates with assignments, as well as tying shoes and anything else that needed to be done or helped with from other students. And so, again, these acts of kindness, they don't have to be the biggest things in the world. They just have to be an act of kindness. So for Carter Mendes, if we could give a round of applause here, who's here with his mom.
Yeah.
So the next act of kindness I'd like to recognize, Curtis Kramer. Curtis is here. Curtis was put in by myself as well. Every kid likes to go outside for recess. They rush for it, they love it, they don't want to waste any time getting there. Again, about the 2nd week of school, I watched Curtis hold the door open for his entire grade level, not just his class, the entire grade level, waiting for everyone to go out the door for recess. Did he lose some time at recess? He did, but that act of kindness for me was something that I wanted to recognize, and so for Curtis, with his mom, dad, and his sister Janet here, I just wanted to recognize you and thank you. And the last act of kindness that I'll recognize here, who's here in person, Jacob Tice. Jacob Tice was put in by a classroom teacher, Joanne Burrows Wood, helping other students by repeating directions, expectations in small groups. He's almost like a mini teacher in the classroom, helping and aiding students, understanding what tasks they should be on, what their goals are for those small groups. And again, it goes back to making sure that all those little random acts of kindness are addressed and recognized, because I really think they can be something that get pushed right away when other students see it. So for that, Jacob, whose mom is here, I'd just like to congratulate you and recognize you for your random act of kindness. And Caleb Smith, who I don't believe is here, I didn't see his family, he also was put in for an act of kindness, so we may ask his parents and his family to come at the next board meeting. But Caleb Smith was put in by his classroom teacher. Caleb picked up every single piece of trash in our newly created courtyard at George Ross Mackenzie Elementary School. And you know, when I talked to Caleb, he goes, "Well, this is my school." And that ownership of it was amazing. And so when Mrs. Morse put him in, I couldn't have been happier. So Caleb's family's not here, but I wanted to make sure he was recognized if he is watching, you know, on YouTube later on tonight on our district channel. So for Caleb Smith, his random act of kindness of just beautifying the school. So that's all the random acts of kindness that I have, Dr. Margano, and thank you all for being here and the families for being here as well. And thank you for my students at Mackenzie for doing the right thing, and continue, because you can get more acts of kindness. This isn't your last one, I hope. All right?
For the high school, we actually mentioned 3 at the last board meeting, and so we have their awards, and it was for Jeffrey Morgan, Ksenia Sanowski, and Rebecca Murray, and these were all put in by Lisa Marie Druitt because of the fact of these students took it upon themselves. It's their school, it's their building, and they proceeded to weed an area where the benches are. I call it the landing over here, and they just wanted the area to look nice. So I will make sure they get their A-OK award, because again, it's those random acts of kindness. It's the taking ownership of their school and their building that means so much. I have 2 other ones. Another one is, the last 2 were put in actually by Anthony. And one is for Jalissa Bush. I don't think she is here tonight. I'll make sure I get this to her. Jalissa, actually, she helps Anthony about every day to put up all the basketballs and soccer balls away at lunchtime after they're done with their recess. And then yesterday, working with the decorating club, she stayed after school and she made sure that every teacher had a pumpkin on their door, she decorated the schools with the rest of the decorating club, so we are actually festive. It looks really cute. And then I have Tori Kaiser. Anthony also put this A-OK award, and she is very much like, I guess, Curtis, as far as every day, she holds the door open on the landing at dismissal. And she does it with a smile, and she's just, again, it's these random acts of kindness that are so important for our building. So I do want to congratulate Tori and Jalissa and Rebecca and Jeffrey and Ksenia, because these are amazing kids and they're going to be amazing adults.
Yeah. You're all welcome to stay, or if you need to go home, you won't hurt our feelings if you'd like to leave. We don't want to bore you for the next hour and a half. So feel free to leave. Or stay. Why, you want to come up here and sit? You can have my job, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations.
She is so stinking cute. Did you see her hair? Did you see all the colors in that girl's hair?
Next, I'd like to recognize Sue Glantz, who's here tonight. Sue's receiving tenure this evening, and it's well-deserved. She works diligently with her students, and the kids love you, and so do we. Congratulations. Is there anything you'd like to say, Sue?
Just that I'm happy to be becoming part of the Eldred family and serving the community they've lived in for 20-some years.
We're glad you're here.
So, yes, we are.
The next is Tri-State Consortium. Tri-State is the best described as a group of critical friends. This is a group that we're looking for membership in. It's not automatic. You have to apply and you have to be accepted. We're right now like temporary members for the rest of this year. And Tracy's already gone for some training in Tri-State. If we wanted to take a look, for instance, at our elementary math program, Tri-State would send a team in and review the program and share with us confidentially what they feel is needed for improvement. And we have the opportunity to visit other schools and do the same for them. It's one step in our quest to improve student outcomes. And I'm recommending that we join that group when the opening exists. Any questions about Tri-State?
Yes. Is the membership, does that carry an annual fee as well?
It's about $7,000 a year. Any other questions about Tri-State? The next is college courses. I think you have a sheet that has the courses that we currently offer, fall and spring. Tracy and I have been working on a concept of our kids leaving here, those that want to take the college courses, leave here with an associate's degree. That would save parents a lot of money. It's one thing to have a number of courses, it's another to have an actual degree. And we may have to hire an additional teacher to do this, but the cost of us paying for the college courses would be about $30,000 a year. Whether we pay for them or not, I think this is a worthwhile endeavor. Tracy, is there anything you'd like to add?
We already, we offer a lot of these classes, and the bonus is, for most of these classes, we would consider it like dual enrollment. So they would get the Regents credit along with the SUNY Sullivan credit. So it is two-purpose. It's also, it opens students' opportunities and eyes open to taking those upper level, those college classes. It introduces them to college level work in a very safe environment. It's here. It's not having to travel to another campus. So I do truly believe that this is the way to go to actually push our kids to reach for those upper level classes. And I'm looking forward to this endeavor. We can do it.
Thank you. The next item is central treasurer duties. One of our teachers serves as a central treasurer for clubs and other activities that are not part of our school budget. And I have a list there of the duties of the central treasurer. And they're pretty extensive. And with the senior class raising more money now than ever before, that's more money that has to be accounted for when it's spent and when it's collected. So I'm asking that at our next meeting, we increase the central treasurer's stipend from, I think it's $2,500 now? 24. To double that, or approximately $5,000, and increase it another $1,000 a year for the duration of the teacher contract. So it would end with about $8,000. Any questions about the central treasurer? COVID testing. We were the first school in the county to test. We have a very cooperative faculty and staff, and remember, this is a state mandate. It's not my mandate. And anybody who's not vaccinated is required to be tested. And we offered some options. They can do it through the school program. They can do it at their physician. They can do it at the county for free. They can self-test in front of the nurse. So with those options, I think people were comfortable with the program. And today was our second day for testing. Like I said, it has to be done once a week. Questions about COVID testing? Tonight, you'll see a list of bus monitors being recommended for employment. The board had some time ago asked me to hire a monitor for every bus. And tonight, we'll fulfill that request. And just one more congratulations to Owen. Owen, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Is there anything you'd like to say, Owen?
No, not really, other than the fact that I'm very, very excited to finally get the All-State. Looking forward to it.
You did a great job. Thanks, Owen. And that's my report.
Any questions for Dr. Morgano from the board? Elementary principal report. Michael?
Thank you, Mr. Halleck. Thank you, Dr. Morgano. Thank you, Board of Education. So our attendance at the elementary school is doing great right now. So we've been in school every day since school started on September 7th. We have an overall attendance of over 95%, which is great. We only have one grade level below 95%. And I think some of the issues that created that, the sixth grade being at 93.77%, we've adjusted. But having attendance over 95% is one of my academic goals for the year. It's important that students who are coming back to school are here on a consistent basis so we can get back to the learning that's necessary to close those gaps that we know have been created with the pandemic. So I'm really happy to report that. Our academic outcomes. All students have been baseline in their STAR reading and math scores. My staff is beginning to use FastBridge assessments for baselines in ELA math as well as social emotional learning. We're still working through the process of utilizing FastBridge. It is a new program for us. It's a program we are looking at to possibly replace our STAR program, so we're working through some issues now, but we're getting there. Our second pre-K class began with resounding success. I will remember the phone call I got from Dr. Morgano. We need to create a second pre-K class. I go, that's great. There's a lot that we got to get done. We got to find a classroom. We have to find a teacher. We have to find an aide. I go, how about October 1st for a start date? He goes, how about, and this was on September 4th. He goes, how about the 13th? So in 9 days, we got it all together, and it's been awesome. So every student in Eldred that wants to have pre-K instruction can have it. That is an immense opportunity for us to be able to reach students in a formal educational setting as early as 3 years old, which is great for our district. George Ross Mackenzie Open House will be this Tuesday, October 19th. It is going to be virtual. Parents will be able to meet me on a Google Meet. I'll be meeting with the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th graders at 6:30, and I'll be meeting with the pre-K kindergarten 1st and 2nd graders at 7 o'clock, their parents. So they'll have an opportunity to meet me. I'll have a brief presentation about our district initiatives, my academic goals for the year. They'll get to meet me, and also there'll be some time for some questions and answers. So as much as we wanted to do it in person, right now the right thing to do is to have it virtual. I still wanted to have that opportunity to meet parents. I've met so many of them in the arrival and dismissal lines, within the school, picking up and dropping off children, but I know there's so many more that I still have to go and meet. Extracurricular activities. One of my academic goals this year is to create as many extracurricular activities for the elementary school students as possible. One of the things we're going to try to do for the spring is create a catalog. I've already addressed with my teachers at the faculty meeting this week about possibly finding your passions that you want to have as a club, as an extracurricular activity in the spring. With that being said, we don't want to wait for the spring, so student council is just about ready to begin. We're actually going to hold elections for our student council on November 2nd, which is election day since we are in school. I hope to have two student council members in each class in the 5th and 6th grade, giving us 4 student council members, as well as a vice president in 5th grade and a president all right, the first ever George Ross Mackenzie president, who can compete with Owen here, in the 6th grade. I think it's really important that students start to understand how government works and how it can be a positive aspect to making and helping the community. So one of the things that I'm going to put toward our student council is where we locate our new buddy bench that we're going to have within our courtyard, as well as what colors that buddy bench is going to be. And of course, they're not going to be involved in any of the major decisions of the school, but I want them to know that they have a voice. And so in November's Board of Ed meeting, I'm going to ask that they get certified once they are elected in the school. Odyssey of the Mind, we just had a meeting today after school for our new Odyssey of the Mind program. We're going to have 2 teams this year for Odyssey of the Mind. If you don't know what Odyssey of the Mind is, it is a extracurricular activity that is competitive at the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade level, non-competitive at the primary level, kindergarten, 1st, and 2nd grade. But what it is it allows students to enrich their learning through trying to solve a major problem with a solution they come up with. And so the coaches, we'll call them coaches, but what they really are is facilitators. They facilitate the team, which we're going to have to screen students because unfortunately, Odyssey of the Mind is one club that cannot be inclusive of everyone. There is a limit to the number of members we can have on an Odyssey of the Mind team. But it's really, really important to have this Odyssey of the Mind team started this year. So as Eldred moves forward, right now we're the only Sullivan County school that is going to put a team in March at the competition at OU BOCES, and I think that's great. And so I really like that Eldred is starting to light the torch and lead the way in Sullivan County. Warrior Kids. Today we had Garnet Health come in and provide their Warrior Kids assembly. We were able to learn about their 5-2-1 almost none slogan. So that's 5 fruits and vegetables a day. It's no more than 2 hours of screen time, 1 hour of physical activity, and we're trying to do almost none of the sugary beverages. And so we're just trying to message, and this is through our wellness committee, the Warrior Kids program. We had the students outside in our courtyard. They were exercising, they were energetic, they were engaged, and it was really nice to have outsiders be able to come into George Ross Mackenzie Elementary School, and we started to really look and act like an elementary school again, which was great. I just wanted to make sure that our custodial staff in my building gets a shout out. They are doing a phenomenal job cleaning and sanitizing the classrooms. We are short-staffed in the elementary school, and they are managing it. And we're managing it at the high school as well as the district as a whole. And they're still able to do it, and they're an immense, immense asset that we have at the school. Playground installation. I met with the site engineer that's going to come in and install our playground on Wednesday, which would be yesterday, I apologize. So yesterday, we are going to have to move the playground 1 foot to the left. It adjusts almost nothing, except we're just going to have to put a little bit more asphalt in where the playground is, because the only issue with the playground, and as we know there are supply issues around the country, the glue that solidifies the rubber matting is not accessible. If we don't get it in enough time, we have to have it so it's at least outside over 50 degrees for like 3 straight days. So most likely what's going to happen is the playground will get installed, it'll look beautiful, and I will have to inform the children of Mackenzie that unfortunately we cannot get on the playground, because there's still going to be stone below it. But they assure me that it will be ready to go when the matting is here and ready to go, probably right in that mid-March, right when that snow starts to melt. We'll be ready to go and have that playground ready for the students of Mackenzie. So it will be here this year. It will be installed within the next 3 to 4 weeks. We just may not be able to use it for safety reasons with the fall zones. I can't have children falling on rocks or pavement. There does have to be that rubber matting. The second basketball hoop will be installed shortly. I talked with Paul Pinkerus, who also did the asphalt for the school. He hopes to have the basketball hoop installed over this weekend. It should be a one-day event. I'm asking him to do it outside of school hours. He's helped me with that, and so hopefully we'll have a second basketball hoop on Monday. If not, I'll give Paul a call and we'll figure out a date that can work. We're still converting the computer lab to a makerspace dual-purpose room. I'm working with Sal Barbara with AT Equipment Sales and developing a 3D model of the room before we purchase any furniture. So I'll make sure that gets pushed up to Dr. Morgano and the board, so we make sure that what we're doing is right and appropriate for the children of Mackenzie. Our security and fire system, it is now complete as of this meeting. We had our walkthrough yesterday with Stanley, myself, the maintenance staff, the secretarial staff in the office, all those personnel who need to know how the system works. They know how the system works. We've run drills with the new system already, and we will run at least 2 more drills prior to December 31st. 2 fire drills, and we'll also run 2 lockdown drills. Stanley is going to come back when we run the lockdown drills to make sure the system is working properly. Upcoming dates, on Monday we have school pictures, which is wonderful. October 19th we have virtual open house. The 20th is a PTA meeting at George Ross Mackenzie Elementary School. The 27th through the 29th is the Scholastic Book Fair, which we will have within the school, and also we will have 1 evening session for the book fair. And on November 1st is our Superintendent's Conference Day. And the last thing I just need to report, I have 2 new employees that are going to be helping the students at Mackenzie Elementary School. I have Alyssa Swinford here with her 2 boys. Alyssa is going to be one of our building substitutes, just like Casey Weiss is. Alyssa comes from us from a roundabout way of San Diego, Oklahoma, and she's now currently living in Port Jervis, but she was an Oklahoma certified teacher. She taught 4th grade. She is big into STEAM, which is a big thing for me right now as we try to promote that in the school. And so Alyssa is here. She'll be our building substitute, and I think she's ready to rock and roll. So thank you, Alyssa. And we also, And lastly, we have our speech pathologist at Mackenzie Elementary School. We have Sarah Glogocheski. She comes from us through SUNY Cortland in her undergrad, as well as the College of St. Rose for a graduate, and she was just previously working at Inspire in Goshen. So she will handle all speech students within the entire district, where the majority of her students are at Mackenzie Elementary School. So welcome, Sarah, as well. Dr. Magano, Mr. Halleck, board, that concludes my report.
Any questions for Michael from the board?
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Tracy, you're up.
Okay, well, for the junior, senior high school, again, our attendance rate has, since the beginning of school, has been over 95%. Our top class is 8th grade, and they're over 97%. Seniors, come on.
That's not me.
All right. So, and followed closely by the 9th graders. So our lower classes are whipping up on our upper classes. So, we are also 93% of our students have completed their STAR, math, and ELA baseline assessments. We are currently working as well, like Mackenzie, on our Fast Bridge. So that's coming around. We're testing out the new program to see if we like it. And if it's a little bit easier than the STAR as far as giving it, and it's more streamlined. So we are in that process. We're very excited because this week has been Spirit Week. We actually got to have Spirit Week this year, and I have seen lots of very cool outfits from our kids. One day was Country Club versus Country Wear. Then today was Adam Sandler. Y'all dressed up like Adam Sandler.
Yes, we did.
So it's been very interesting. This week is homecoming week, so tomorrow, pending weather, we will be having a pep rally outside during 9th period, and then we will be having a homecoming bonfire and fall festivities with our fundraising tables. We'll be outside on the lower fields from 4:30 to 6:30. We then will move to the football field, and that is where we'll be recognizing our seniors, homecoming court, and having a football game. So it'll be a very long and exciting day. I'm looking forward to it because tomorrow is Eldred Pride Day, so I get to wear all my Eldred gear, along with other kids wearing all their yellow, their gold and green, so it'll be fun. We also are doing our open house on October 21st. It will be virtual. 5 minutes periods. You will follow your child's schedule. I will kick it off with a very introductory presentation of our district's initiatives and our goals, and basically so parents, if they do not know me, they can be introduced. So we are going to run that on October 21st. We are also doing our Honor Society's inductions on October 21st. We haven't been able to do these induction ceremonies. That will be done during 9th period. It will be live streamed to the parents and also recorded, so that we can maintain social distancing, COVID protocol, and still get these induction ceremonies in, because again, the students need to be recognized for all of their hard work. So we're doing that on the 21st. We have launched a new program. It's called Naviance, and that is a college and career readiness program. It's being launched through the 9th through 12th grade. It basically will help students with career searches, college searches, and it's a very robust platform. It helps us to stay aligned with the competencies for the CCLR framework, which is the College, Career, and Life Readiness. So this year we're launching it for 9th through 12th graders. Next year we're including the 7th and 8th graders. So I'm looking forward as we push that program out. Now, along with the Sullivan 180, we actually have a single bite as part of that Sullivan 180 grant. The Single Bite Education Program, it is a program for our 7th and 8th graders, and it's basically looking at how to, it exposes them to different foods. It exposes them to more nutritional foods instead of the sugary substances, processed foods we tend to see. And then this week, they actually brought in a chef, and they worked with our 7th graders in their health class and in their foods and nutrition class. So they got to try different things. Monday, they're actually taking a field trip to the farm around Bethel, so they can actually see some different, the vegetables, and we're also looking at the hydroponic farm across the road, making maybe a trip there. And then later on this year, or later on this semester, they will do a restaurant trip. And then we do the same thing for our 8th graders in the spring. So it's a way for them to be introduced to different foods that they may not have access to. And it also exposes them to more nutritious eating. So that's a single bite. And then we do have on October 19th for our 5th and 8th graders, so this is where I'm joining with Michael, and our 5th and 8th graders are going to be visiting Votech's Liberty campus, their main campus, to see the career and technical choices that they have. And it's all the different offerings, is just to give them an introduction. So the upcoming dates, we have October, and we've got a busy October. So October 19th, we've got the ACT for 11th and 12th graders. It's done during school. It is free for the 11th and 12th graders. On October 20th, we are giving the ASFAB for 11th and 12th graders, and that'll be after school. October 21st, same day as our open house, we are going to be doing our picture day. October 26th, they are doing senior portrait retake number 3, so that's another opportunity for our seniors to make sure their senior pictures are perfect for them. And then we do have October 27th, the blood drive that we're running through here. October 28th, we're offering the SAT in during school for our seniors. So we've got a busy, busy October. So that concludes my report. Any questions?
Any questions for Tracy from the board? All good? Owen, you are up, big guy. It's your first time here.
Yes. Hello, everybody. My name is Owen Anderson. For those of you who don't know me, I am this year's Student Council President. I'm very, very grateful to have been elected that. I'd also like to thank my very best fan right here, Mr. Carpenteri. Every time he sees me in the hall, he's like, Mr. President. So, #1 fan right there. My report is pretty quick. Mostly just going to go over fundraisers and stuff that are going on at tomorrow's bonfire. Starting with the 7th graders. Actually, this is not a fundraiser that's going on. The 7th graders are in charge of the Gatorade and water machines throughout the halls. So they'll be ordering and restocking all of that and keeping track of the payroll, trying to educate them about how to do that kind of thing. The 8th grade class at the bonfire will be selling walking tacos, so look out for that. The freshman class plans to sell candy canes throughout December, so that's a little bit later on, and we'll also be participating in the bonfire festivities as well. The sophomore class is kicking off their fundraising efforts on Friday at homecoming by selling Eldred winter hats, opportunities to pie faculty and staff, starting with Ms. Ferreira. And they're also selling fudge. They also plan to host a gift wrapping night as the holidays approach, so be on the lookout for that. The junior class, look out for them in the hallways. For teachers, definitely. They're selling $1 Gertrude Hawk candy bars. Those are definitely big sellers. I sold those last year. And then us, the senior class, is actively selling Gertrude Hawk as well. That is an order form though, and they should be in sometime before Thanksgiving. And then we are also selling holiday wreaths. So lots of fundraisers going on. The senior class is also going to be hosting a booth at the bonfire. We will be preparing some of Miss Padua's delicious pulled pork sandwiches and coleslaw. Very much looking forward to that. What else do I have? And then the last thing I have is college visits. During lunch periods, there have been several colleges that have come and kind of talk to us about the majors that they have there and been trying to help us along with the college process. So I'm very thankful to Ms. Guerin for scheduling all of those things. And I believe that is it. Thank you, board, for having me here today.
Thank you, Owen. Nice job. Any questions for Owen from the board? Moving on, Director of Instructional Support. Scott, you're up.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everyone. We've had a busy start to the school year. We've had 3 conference days already that we've put into the books. We have one upcoming on November 1st. On that day, we have scheduled some trainings to take place for Read 180, which is a Tier 2 and Tier 3 intervention for literacy. NICET, we reached out to NICET to provide some professional development, and there's 4 topics that teachers can choose from that day. Along with, we have Dr. Ellen Rice that will be working with special ed population and teachers that are in inclusion ICT classrooms on those 2 topics of creating adaptive materials and increasing differentiation. So Dr. Rice works with us to assist our school with our initiative of trying to be more inclusive for kids at all levels, so that rather than students go out for special classes, reading, math, or even going to BOCES, we're trying to initiate where many of our students can stay here. So Dr. Rice has been providing some in-service classes, and she'll be working with our special ed teachers upcoming over the course of the next couple of months to see what type of resources and skill sets we can put in place to assist them helping our children within the classroom setting. So Dr. Rice has been putting forth a number of classes that started over the summer, and she's going to continue this year. On the board agenda tonight, you're going to see 2 others. You're going to see Dr. Joan Miller. Dr. Miller has been working with Mike and Tracy and myself to try to look at our RTI, our Response to Intervention program, to assist kids that before they go through the process of being special education and going through the CSE. So that is one of the initiatives that we're doing. And then Sue Wheeler is on the agenda. She's helping us with our process for our math in K-12. So Mike and I, Sue got to meet Mike today. We met at the elementary school at 9 today. We had a nice conversation. Sue will be back in the classroom. It's been a couple of years because she was not here last year because of COVID, and she will be back in person with us starting early November. So I appreciate that, having all of those individuals working with our staff to improve the outcomes of students. So I wanted to kind of give you an overview of those 3 individuals and what they're doing with our teachers, and I'll try to do that at each board meeting as we go throughout the year. Conference room, we have a nice conference room that's taking place. You got a chance, I think, if you have a executive session to use that. We have new furniture that Dr. Morgano had ordered. The conference room will be multi-purpose, where the tables could be put together or they could be spread apart, so that you can do a class in there, or you could do a board meeting. So as soon as we get the room kind of finished, you'll see the furniture come and take place. But I thank Dr. Morgano and the board for making our conference room look like a conference room. And with that, that's all I have to share with you this evening.
Any questions for Scott from the board?
I have a question about Joan Miller. Mm-hmm. Where did we find her, and what kind of credentials does she have? Like what?
Well, to be honest with you, Dr. Morgano has worked with her. She's a professor, or was a professor at Mount St. Mary College. and was one of the initial people that came through the state when they had an initiative with RTI. So about 20 years ago, the state put forth how we are supposed to progress in our RTI program at the school, and she was one of those initial individuals that was part of that group from the state. And then over time, she went out to other school districts and assisted them with implementing their RTI. So that's what she does now. She works with a number of districts, assisting them in their process for RTI.
She's also a specialist in ELA,
Yes.
English Language Arts.
Yeah.
I worked with Joan for 10 years at Mount St. Mary Grad School.
That was a good question. She's well-versed and the teachers have met her, both the high school teachers and the elementary teachers, and she has a down-to-earth explanation on when she kind of comes forth with information.
Any other questions or discussions on the board? Okay, Caleb, you're up. The money man.
All right. So we got an award letter. We got $60,000 in ECF funds for the purchase of connected devices. That's Chromebooks and laptops. We received that award letter about 2 weeks ago. Jed brought that to my attention that we qualified for that and helped me fill out the application for that. There's a pre-K expansion grant, which you guys knew about. It's been filed. It's a competitive grant. The amount that we would get is $80,000. The outcome of the grant selection process is expected sometime in November. They had said it could have been late October, but we're getting into late October and I haven't heard anything yet, so I'm guessing they're targeting mid-November. We also got an additional grant of $32,000 from the IDEA grant funds. Those are funds we get for special education. So they added an additional $32,000, and that money was intended for us to address learning loss. We've completed several of our major projects. You actually already got this report from Michael, so I'm just going to do this one quick. The paving is done. The courts at the elementary school are done with the exception of the one basketball hoop, and we are about to start on the playground. Well, he updated you on all that. We are projected to have another surplus year in 2021-22. It should be a fairly major surplus again. This year it's because of just all of the flood of grant funds that are coming in. Yeah, I feel like every week I find out about a new grant to apply for. This year, meaning last year, 2021, we ended with a near 7-figure surplus, so just shy of $1 million. I'm hoping to have a 5-year comprehensive financial plan, which is almost complete, just to show everybody, the public, teachers, anybody who is asking, because we've done a number of hires recently. We're in great fiscal shape, and I hope to have a comprehensive plan that I'll present to you in a detailed presentation at next month's board meeting that shows how for the next 5 years we should have no problem with the hiring that we've done so far. And from my understanding is we've restored just about every position that we're going to restore, so we're pretty much full staff.
Everyone
Am
that
I correct?
I wanted to restore has been restored.
Okay.
The last one was Michelle Gallo. She's now working in the elementary as a guidance counselor.
Okay. And that concludes my report for right now.
Any questions for Caleb from the board? Thank you, Caleb. Caleb, can we use any of the grant money to pay like Wheeler and Miller?
We are. So there's I'll add that into the report for next week too, because I'm not kidding when I'm saying we have an unprecedented number of grants this year. One of the grants we get is the TSI grant, the Targeted Schools Improvement Grant. That was because of COVID again. Normally that was a $100,000 grant. They threw another $25,000 in there. So all of the potential at $500 a day for 20 days, 10 for Sue Wheeler, that's in that grant. Anything we use less than 10 is just lost. It's, so, it's not,
Well, I just don't want to use,
well, you're not losing money, but you're losing free services.
I just don't want to use the budget money because they're not budgeted people.
Oh, no, they were, and last year, because we had her last year, she was grant funded on that TSI grant as well. They're grant funded people.
All the new teachers that we hired, they were already budgeted, right?
Oh, correct. We didn't hire any teachers on grant money.
Correct, so that's the main thing you want to do, is not hire teachers on grant money, because grant money comes once and then it's gone, and that's how you
Right.
get in trouble down the road.
Right, but all of the consultants are on grant money.
Non-recurring expenses.
Yep. All of the consultants are on grant money, though. Just if, I know we didn't make that clear in there, but to be clear, they are all paid on grant money.
People could look at it and say, oh, hiring these special people to come in as a part of budget money, and 5 years down the road, we're right back to where we were 4 years ago.
And
I'm like,
I had heard the same, and so that's why I want to prepare for next board meeting a 5-year plan, so I can show you, this is the revenue we have coming in, these are the expenses as they stand, and
Because on
kind
top of the
illustrate that.
grants, we also are bringing in additional money that we weren't getting before, like foster children. And Caleb's been working on bringing in additional resources for the past couple of years.
And also that, the bulk of that compressor station money, which was not used because COVID happened right after we got it. So we held that and weathered the storm. So now that's really what we were using for the bulk of the hiring, which is annual money. Every year we get it.
any other discussion or questions for Keila?
No, thank you.
Good job, Keila. Just real quick, Jen and I attended a board meeting in Lumberland last night, and I just want to make it public that the town board of Lumberland went above and beyond for us. We got grant money for 2 new signs, one here and one for Lumberland. And in their zoning laws of Lumberland, they didn't allow electronic signs. So with phone calls being made, this and that, and several of us attending some meetings, they changed their zoning laws for us so that we could put in a electronic sign over there, a V shape, so you see it coming from both ways. And Jed and I attended the public hearing last night, and it was no issues at all. So that, I just want to thank the town of Lumberland for going above and beyond for us, so we could do that. Over here, they didn't have any zoning laws. We looked into it, it wasn't an issue, but they did the right thing by us. So it's nice to work with the communities and the school districts, and everybody gets along. So I just wanted to make that known. That being said, public comment on the consent agenda only. Any public comment? Only once? Twice? Okay, very good. We will move on to, I will need a motion to approve consent items 801, I'm sorry, 401 and 707. I need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
I need a second. Any discussion? On any item on the consent agenda for the board? Any discussion?
You know what, Scott? Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that the 25,000 yearly for Caleb, that was what we discussed last year. It's not in addition to.
No, it was last year 25 and this year 25 and that's what
Okay.
And we brought him up to speed and everybody else.
Right, okay.
Because if not, you can go down the road and get a job, he's done a good job for us, great job for us, like here and there, and he ups and leaves, then we gotta start all over.
Understood. Thank
So
you.
with no discussion or no anything, I'll take a vote. Nancy?
Aye.
Christie?
Aye.
Vicky? Aye, I'm Lord. Aye. Aye. All ayes. Old business. New business. Members of the board. Before I forget, I will not be here next meeting. I will be in Colorado.
Thanks, boss.
Oh, cool.
Thanks, boss.
You're up. Just let everybody know. All right, second public comment on whatever you guys want to discuss. Floor is open for anybody. If you have any questions of what we're doing, discussions, now's the time to do it. Well, good, everybody happy?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I received something from my teacher last week about documenting what they do with their kids at night. Like if we're reading to them, if we're conversing with them, if we're eating a meal with them. I do that as a normal thing with families, but I just kind of want to know what's the, if that's going to be documented or what's the repercussions we don't know about.
So it was this asked at the elementary school?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there will be no repercussions for that. It's just to get a gauge on what students are being provided in the home as well as at school, so we can start to build that student-teacher-family relationship. Nothing will be documented. There's no names that need to be on it. If you feel you don't want to fill that out, then you do not need to fill that out. Yeah, that was from a classroom teacher who wanted to see if they could help find some more information to get a gauge on where their students are. You're welcome.
I'm sorry, can I get your name?
Ashley Davis.
Thank you.
Any other questions, discussions? At this time, I'll take a motion to enter executive session for contractual for the transportation department.
I'll make the motion.
I need a second.
I'll second.
And I don't intend to have any business afterwards. So everybody enjoy, and you will see me next month.